Sawadee-ka. Welcome to Hot Thai Kitchen. Today I've got a new and improved recipe for a classic Thai salad, and that is glass noodle salad or yum woon sen. Now yum is a type of Thai salad and woon sen is glass noodles. Now to me, this dish is the ultimate homesickness cure because it's one of those dishes that we have all the time, whether we're at home or in a restaurant, and because it's so easy to make, this was one of the very first dishes I made when I first left home and I missed Thai food. So I'm excited to share this recipe with you. Let's get started. All right, glass noodles. You can buy glass noodles at any Asian grocery stores and they come dry like this. Now this is actually made of mung bean starch, 100% mung bean starch. So sometimes they'll be called bean threads or bean vermicelli or glass vermicelli. There's lots of different names for it. So what you want to do is get these soaking in just room temperature water for about 10 minutes until they become pliable like this. I want to cut them just a couple of times so they're not too long, so it's easier to eat, just with scissors. All right, so now the next thing you want to get going is the dried shrimp. So I've got here some dried shrimp, which you can find at any Chinese grocery stores in the refrigerated section. There are many sizes. I go for the medium one. So what I did is I soaked them in hot water just for 5-10 minutes or so until they're nice and softened. And you notice that they've sort of swollen in size a little bit. And that is so that I can pound them and break them up a little bit so they'll distribute better. If you don't have a mortar and pestle like this, you can just chop them. Just like that, that's perfect. So I'm gonna just set this aside for now. All right, now the dressing. I'm gonna add some garlic for a little pungent. So just a couple of cloves here. You can do more if you'd like. And spicy. I always say there's no such thing as a Thai salad that's not spicy, but you can make this as spicy as you like. I'm also gonna add cilantro stems. Now, the leaves I'm saving to toss in at the end, but the stems are so aromatic and they make a great salad dressing. Lots of cilantro. If you don't like cilantro, you can just leave it out. Now I'm gonna pound all this into a paste. All right, just like that, just a rough paste. And now some sweetness to balance. I've got some palm sugar here. You can just do a light brown sugar if you want, and some people do white sugar. I used to do white sugar, but I do find that palm sugar does add a little more complexity. And pound that until the sugar is dissolved, just like that. Some salty, of course, fish sauce. Can't have a Thai yum without fish sauce. And finally, the last thing is fresh lime juice. And I want to stress the word fresh because bottled lime juice just will not do. It's the main ingredient. You want this salad to be tart and refreshing. All right. So my blanching water for the noodles and our protein is going. Let's first look at the vegetables though. I've got some onions here, thinly sliced. Now this is actually sweet onion because I think that's better for this dish. I've got some tomatoes. You can use cherry. I'm using Roma tomatoes. It's got lower moisture content so it won't release too much water into the salad. And I have some celery. Now normally I would use Chinese celery, but the Chinese celery at the store was ridiculously wilted. So I am using instead the inner stalks of regular celery, which works just as well. So the inside stalks that a lot of times you can't really use it for much, but the leaves and the thinner stalks are perfect for this dish. So now in this mixing bowl, I'm going to throw in my dried shrimp. Okay, I think the water is boiling now. Close enough. What I love about yum woon sen is that the woon sen takes literally 2 minutes to cook. All right, so that's done. Now I'm actually gonna remove them with tongs. I wanna keep the water for my protein. And when I get down to like the final strands, I'm gonna use one of these handy things to try to get them. All right. With this water, I'm going to turn it back on and I'm going to cook my shrimp. And you can also pan sear the shrimp if you want to get a little, a little browning on them, get a little extra flavor, but I'm just going to keep it traditional and classic. In Thai cuisine, we do blanch our protein quite a lot, especially for salads. So I don't need to wait for the water to come to a full boil. Just a simmer is fine. Gentle cooking prevents shrimp from overcooking too quickly. And these will take literally 30 seconds. Okay, and that's it for the shrimp. I'm gonna put them directly in my salad bowl here. Just make sure you shake off all the water. Now what I'm gonna do, I've also got ground pork, which I think is the most important protein in this dish. You can do ground chicken if you'd like, but I'm gonna cook it in here, but there's too much water right now, so I'm just gonna pour off most of it until I only have just enough to cover the bottom. And if you've seen my lab video, you'll recognize this technique as being ruan. And that means cooking something in just a little water or sometimes a little oil until it's fully cooked. I'm gonna add the pork in there. And I'm gonna break that up really quickly so I don't get big clumps. I'm also gonna add just a splash of fish sauce, just a little bit to season the pork. And that's it. Once it's fully cooked, you are done. Use a slotted skimmer or a mesh skimmer, and I'm gonna move that into my salad bowl. There you go. And the heat from the pork and the shrimp will sort of wilt the onions and tomatoes and celery a little bit, and that's a good thing. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add some of that cooking liquid because that is like pork stock now. It's got pork flavor and shrimp flavor, and I think it just sort of brings everything together. Not too much, just about a tablespoon. You don't wanna, dilute the dressing. Okay, the noodles go in. The dressing is gonna go directly on the noodles, and that'll help the noodles split up. Oh, that smells so good right now. Just look at that. Woo! I'm also going to add now the cilantro leaves. And I use the stem for the dressing and use the leaves for the salad. There we go. That looks and smells like a party. And yum woon sen is just one of those dishes you want to eat as soon as it's done, okay? Because the noodles will continue to absorb the dressing and then it'll be dry and the noodles will be all swollen. So you don't want to toss it till you're ready to rock. Look at that. Look how pretty that is. Now, I am not quite done yet. This is only going to get better with a little crunch. And I am adding some roasted peanuts, and I roasted the peanuts fresh. It's gonna be that nutty, crunchy element of this salad, and that is what's gonna make it perfect. If you're allergic to nuts, you can do pumpkin seeds or soy nuts. Cashews will work as well, but peanuts are my favorite for this. All right, so normally I like to eat this with rice, but you can serve it as an appetizer on its own. I don't have any rice right now, so I'm gonna eat it on its own. Make sure I get some dried shrimp on there, some peanuts on there. Oh my gosh. Oh, this smell. This makes me miss home already. Oh my God. That's the flavor of Thailand right there. When I think of Thai food, this is the flavor that comes to mind. A balance of sweet, salty, and sour, but it leads with sour and it's so refreshing. The celery is crunchy, the tomato is juicy, and the noodles, if you haven't had glass noodles before, they have the funnest texture. The peanuts really add that crunch and nuttiness. Oh my God, if you haven't tried yum woon sen, you have to try it. And if you've tried my old recipe, try this one. This is even better. So the recipe, as always, will be on hotthaikitchen.com. When you make it, send me a photo on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. If you haven't subscribed to the show, you know what to do. Subscribe so you'll never miss an episode, and I will see you next time for your next delicious Thai meal.